Hi everyone. So today we will be deploying JasperReports Server application with monitoring and logging using Kubernetes. Okay. So our agenda will be, we will be deploying JRS application on Kubernetes cluster with monitoring and logging. So what are the prerequisites? So you should have the Docker images created with you. We will be needing two Docker images, one for Jasper Server Web App and another one will be Jasper Server Buildomatic. And key store should be generated and you should have the obtained license file on your appropriate path. Okay. So you should have both the Docker images ready with you, which is Jasper Server Web App and Jasper Server Buildomatic. So for if you need any assistance for creating how to create Docker images for JRS application, then please go through our video of creating Docker images for JasperReports Server application. We have already uploaded it, so you can get the assistance for creating how to create Docker images for our application. Okay, so I already have both the Docker images ready with you. And for this deployment, we are basically, we will be deploying it on AWS EKS cluster. So however, you can also deploy it on your local instance or on a VM or on any instance where you want to deploy it using the same steps. Okay. So now let's go to the steps. So we have the Docker images ready, and then you should have your key store file generated and it should be placed inside your respective paths. So here we will be deploying it on Kubernetes. So just under Kubernetes, JRS. Okay, let me navigate it through this. Okay. So you should place your key store files here under Kubernetes JRS Helm secrets and under key store folder. Okay. So here I have already placed it. So similarly, you have to place it your key store files here, and under the license folder, you have to place the obtained JRS license file. Okay. So now we have our images ready with us. So now let's proceed with the step one. So we will have to add these following repositories, Helm repositories. Okay, so let's add this. Okay, for me it's already added, so it's already added. So just add these three Helm repositories into the system, and then so now let's navigate to our values.yaml files where we will be configuring, we will be providing the image names, and then we will be enabling our logging and monitoring services, which we are deploying along with this JRS application package. So let's navigate to the values.yaml. So this is the values.yaml file. So here, firstly, you have to specify the image for your Jasper server web app. So this is the image. So I have posted into ECR and my image is named this. So you have to just provide your image name and the tag, what tag you have specified to your image. And for database, you need to mention the DB host as repository.postgres default SVC cluster local. So why it is? So because we will be using our integrated Postgres database, which will be deploying along with this deployment. So we are not using any external database. If you want to use any external database, you have to just provide the host name of that external database along with the DB name, username and password, and the DB port. And now for the Jasper Server Buildomatic part, again, you have to provide the image name for your Jasper Server Buildomatic image and the tag. for a Jasper Server build objective. Okay. Now let's proceed to enable logging and monitoring for our application. So here, when you scroll down at the bottom side, you will be finding this. So for enabling a monitoring part, you have to, under the metrics enable part, you have to make it true. And for enabling logging part, under the logging section, you have to mark enable part as true. By default, it will be marked as false. So you have to make it true and then save the file. Okay. So now let's move back to the steps. So here we have updated our values.yaml. We have updated the images and everything. And now see, for the monitoring part, it's mentioned just enable metric.enabled, and for the logging part, you just have to enable logging.enable to true. Okay. And now since we are using our default database, which will be deployed in a pod, so we will be deploying it on this instance. So firstly, we will be deploying our database pod because that is required for the application to work. So now just run the command, and then it will go on and install the Postgres database pod. So here we are using Postgres database for our deployment. So it will take a couple of minutes. So let's wait for its completion and then we'll start. Okay, so now it got deployed. So just check the status of the pod. So see, a Postgres pod has been deployed and its status is in running state. Okay, so now our database is deployed. So now what we need to deploy our web application. Okay, so just with this command, we can directly deploy our application here. So let's increase the timeout because sometimes it gets timed out. So let's use the timeout as 25 minutes. And yeah, you're deploying it in a default namespace. So I've just removed the namespace part and run it. So now it will start deploying the web application servers for you. So it will take some time. So let's wait for its completion and let's come back once it gets completed. And once the deployment gets completed, so it will deploy your JasperReports Server application along with Prometheus Grafana for monitoring and Elasticsearch Kibana for logging purpose. So all will be bundled here in this deployment. So now our deployment is completed. So let's check the status of our pods. Okay. So get on. So see, when you go to the pods part, so see, this deployment has deployed Jasper Server Pro application pod along with Elasticsearch, Prometheus, Grafana, Kibana, and Fluentd. So our logging and monitoring was also deployed along with this JRS deployment as a bundle. So now let's try accessing our application. Okay. So how can we access our application? So we can access JRS application using this load balancer URL. Now let's try access the application. Okay. Now you can see the Jasper Report Server application is up and it's accessible and it's working fine. Okay. So this application is up and running. So now let's check the Prometheus Grafana and then the logging part. Okay. So for okay. So for accessing the Grafana, so, so also if you want, so you will get this in a response. So what is the service IP for your Jasper Report Server application? What is this IP for this Grafana and what is the IP for your Kibana application? Okay. So now let's run these commands and then you will, when you echo it, so you will get the complete IP for it. Okay. So this is for Jasper Report Server application. So this is the complete IP for our application if you want to access the application. And then for Grafana, so now let's run this command to get IP. So in order to access the Grafana application, so firstly I have to use the port forwarding method to just forward the traffic so that I can access it from my local. So I will be forwarding the traffic to of Grafana service to port 8181. Okay, so okay, so now it's getting forwarded. So let's try accessing the Grafana application. And now you can see we are able to access our Grafana from the service application. So similarly, let's try it for the Prometheus one. See and check whether the Prometheus is working, is accepting the matrices or not. So similarly, we have to firstly put forward the Prometheus one. So 90902. Let's get 9191. So now the traffic is being forwarded. So let's try accessing Prometheus one. And see, now the Prometheus is also getting activated. So let's check and see. It is capturing these matrices for our application cluster. So accordingly, you can be able to find the metrics and then implement it using Prometheus and Grafana and visualize it using Grafana. Okay. So now let's move to the logging part. So firstly, let me give the processes for this one and 266. So now let's go for the logging part. So here we will be accessing Kibana for it. So Kibana is on 5.6. So again, the same way we need to first port, in order to access Kibana, we have to first port forward it. And then first IP 5601. So 5601 and I will be changing it on, let's say 5611. So now the traffic is being forwarded to port 5611 for Kibana. Host 5611. So now you are being redirected to this Kibana dashboard. So now Kibana dashboard is open, it's up and running. So now you can do your integrations and then capture the loggings for the JRS application in the stack using Kibana. So we are here using Kibana, Fluentty, and Elasticsearch stack for this. Okay, so that's all for the video. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye bye.